I wish I can actually give an honest answer. Anytime someone asks me,
how are you?
Saying I'm turning on the rise, now watch me go. Is this the time to shine? Shine.
Hi, my darlings.
It's Zainab today, and you will be watching a side of me that you might have not seen before, especially if you are not in my inner circle. This particular video is actually intentional, but I don't want to call it a podcast yet because I did not really structure it. I just made up my mind after I consume a particular content. I made up my mind that, you know what? I think there is nothing bad if I am actually having a real conversation with my audience here on YouTube. After all, I've also decided that, this my particular channel will be basically about how I'm actually navigating my 20s, especially when it comes to financial aspects. But this time around, this particular video, it doesn't have anything to do with your money, finances, a lot of that, which means that if you are watching me for the first time, or you are not even watching me for the first time, this might actually be the first type of video you will be watching me that I will be kind of vulnerable. But I've also realized that there is nothing bad in being vulnerable, though some audience might actually see it as a weak point. But I'm pretty sure there are a whole lot of mature thinkers among the audience that will know that, okay, when someone actually come out here and try to be as vulnerable as he or she shows, it doesn't necessarily mean weak points. And I also feel like at some point, our vulnerability also kind of giving a testimony that we have actually passed through certain things, or we are still passing through certain things, and also to make someone out there watching the content that, you know what, girl, you are actually not the only one going through this phase. So basically, two things actually form the basis why I made up my mind to film this particular video. The first one was actually the Toke Makinwa video that I watched on YouTube yesterday. I'm this type of person that I read, I consume content, but I'm always mindful of the type of content that I consume, which means that I don't just follow anybody for just following sake. I follow people when I've read their content several times, and then I just realized that I think I love this person's opinion, the way he presents his own side about a topic or matter. It shows that, okay, this person is actually talking from experience. He or she is not just talking because this is what the majority is saying, and this is what I will also see. I've always loved how Toke Makinwa stands, and then after watching a video which she titled "I Am Pregnant," I'm so happy for her. Right before yesterday, I don't intentionally sit down for 30 minutes and watch her content. No, it has never happened. But you see that yesterday, I sat and I watched the video from the beginning to the end. In fact, at some point I was crying. She actually gave a lot of instances, but there are certain instances she gave that actually made me cry, because at some point I started thinking about my personal stuff too, and it made me shed tears. The first thing she said that made me shed tears was when she said that men always feel like she always antagonized men, or she did not like men. The way she said it sounds like she knows what is actually happening in my own personal life, because honestly, I have that mindset, but I don't know, because I've actually, come across, men that is actually, saying it into my face now that you just don't like men, and any opportunity you get, you always want to make female believe that men are not something they can rely on, which is totally wrong. Honestly, I know it's men. I just, individually, we just have our own perspective about things. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this right now, so as a man, you have your opinion, you have your perspective about my gender. As a matter of fact, if you're actually in my inner circle, you will understand that this girl is actually a romantic girl. But one thing about me is I don't easily fall anyhow. It is actually because of the fact that I don't easily fall anyhow. That thing actually always scared me. Like, what if you finally want to fall in love with someone? You don't want to fall in love with a wrong person, which I always pray for. As a matter of fact, see, let me say this. Today is Saturday. I'm filming this Saturday. Let me check the time. This is 11:41 p.m. This is 11. Can you see that? This is 11:41 Saturday. 2 days ago, I just told someone that I'm not interested any longer, like being in a relationship with that person any longer. It's not like we had a fight, no, but I'm this type of person that, if I'm actually really with someone, I observe a lot and see there is one thing I'm always conscious of. I don't want a pattern to repeat itself. As a result of that, it's always made me so conscious of like every single thing that's happening, even if at all I'm in a relationship with someone. And when I feel like, okay, I want to have that type of person, then I realize that, I'm very, very observant of what is happening, the tiny thing the person do. When I observe a whole lot of things and like the pattern is trying to form itself, I don't want such. That's not the person. I want to relieve you of the stress, because that is I'll just tell you, I think I'm actually putting you through certain stress, right? And I want to relieve you of the stress, right? And then this person was like, oh, you this and that. It is what it is. I just have to let you go. Actually, before I finally pour out my mind, I think we have stopped talking for like 5 months. This week that just ended today, I just summoned the courage, like, what, if you are not in term with this someone again, try to clarify it, try to clear your path and know that, okay, this person, you are both not together again. You have a clear mind, so that if she wants to move forward, or if anybody is actually coming, right, you'll be able to know that, okay, yes, I want to do this again. But if you're still having, or even maybe the person is still having the mindset like, okay, you just want to have a break, you just want both of you to have a break, and then maybe you still have the mindset that you will come back, but within me, I know that I'm not coming back, right? What is such thing? So to clarify that, I felt like, okay, you know what? Why not just clear the air? And he was like, so is that what your conscience is telling you? The reality is certain things are happening, and I don't want that type of pattern. If I've tried to correct certain thing at certain point in time, and it is not really reflecting the way I want it, right? I feel it is best that I just let it go. That person might actually be watching this particular video. But actually, I wish both of us good luck. That being said, the second thing she also said was the way people perceive celebrity out there. Like, celebrity have everything figured out. They have their life figured out. They have control over their destiny. They have control over what they want, what happens to them, and all of that. She's actually right. She celebrated 40 years last year, right? She tagged it Thanksgiving. And honestly, let me be sincere, coming from someone like me, that if I did not watch that particular video, I still be having that mindset, like, how can someone do a Thanksgiving and celebrity from different places? That event last year actually, shout to luxury. And then I was actually asking a rhetorical question, like, how can someone be doing Thanksgiving and then they are blasting it like this? Is it that, yeah, I asked that question. Is it that she don't know that, okay, certain people, or there are some less privileged, or there are some vulnerable people that actually needs money, that she can actually give that money to, that will, they will appreciate it better than the way she's actually spending that money on Thanksgiving. And yesterday when I watched a video that she titled I Am Pregnant, immediately I was saying Astaghfirullah, like I was seeking for repentance. And I feel that is what happened to a whole lot of us. Especially when you see anybody on screen, you feel like, oh God, the way he speaks, I just love it. I just love his intonation. I just love his charisma. I just love the way she carry herself. I just do this. I just like, immediately I heard that, I watched that yesterday, I was immediately seeking for repentance, like Astaghfirullah, God forgive me. When I heard the story behind that Thanksgiving, then she now talked about how people actually view her, like, oh yeah, Toke Makinwa. And I was actually one of those people. Because you see, those periods she actually talked about that, okay, all that, like she was depressed, all that was actually happening to her. I still see her picture on Instagram too. And then I'm always like, oh my God, wow. Wow, I just love this woman. Not knowing that this is actually somebody that is depressed. It's not reminded me of something that happened to me. One thing about me is that particular video, if my family member, my siblings, my dad, my mom eventually they come across this video and they watch it, I apologize in advance for, actually, I'm this type of person that don't always speak up, especially when it comes to family issues. I believe it is best to sort things out, and even if you're able to sort things out, it is best to just keep my own issue, keep my own problem and myself. And that made a whole lot of people always feel like, oh, she has the best family. Yes, I have the best family, I have the best support system, I have the best parent ever. The reality is, at the same time, it doesn't mean that I don't have my own share of it too. And part of that, my own share, is what actually made me to always be observant, especially when I am in a relationship, because I don't want a certain pattern to repeat itself. When people see you outside and they feel like, oh, she's doing good, what is still, keeping her waiting? Why is she not settled down? Why is this? Why is that? And then it's got to a point they start confronting you that, hey, Zainab, what is happening? When are you getting married? In fact, of recent, an uncle traveled to Ibadan. Then he called me and I was like, Zainab, nothing about me. My gut was already telling me that there is possibility that this is what this man actually wants to discuss with me. And I just told him, sir, when you studio, sir, studio Saturday, when recording this, sir. And you know what? In the morning, when I knew that he was actually coming to Ibadan, I don't really have any work that day. I just wanted to relax that day. And immediately I know that he and other people, they are coming to Ibadan. And I got to remember that, okay, there is actually a work that, normally I'm supposed to do that work, to follow him. I was just like, you know what? I'll go to the studio and record that work that day. And then he was not asked, what are you doing in the studio today, sir? I'm like, sir, I'm recording. Then he said, hey, it's like, no, what is still keeping you waiting? Why have you not seen someone you want to settle down with? And then he started saying, don't start saying that, hey, it is money you want in a man. Oh, money is not the first thing. Oh, the first thing is, look, if he's a Muslim, then did he have good attitude? So if he has those two things, those two qualities, if he's a Muslim and he has good attitude, then you're good to go. Two of you will work together and form your wealth. Oh, thank God you're not lazy. Thank God you're shaking your own. And then I now sat myself and I first thank God and I appreciate my God that I actually stay at home that day, because that if I happen to be there physically, it will have been more than that. And then I sat myself at that studio and I was like, really? What made these people think like I'm actually getting it? Is it because of pictures they are seeing and they just conclude that, oh, she's doing fine, which mostly is not as fine as they are actually thinking. Let's not leave the fact that she's actually doing fine or not. They don't want to understand that they did not groom this girl. They're just seeing this girl afar. They did not know those things that shaped this girl. They did not know that trauma this girl is nursing. They did not know the challenges that she has overcome, and those challenges has actually caused injury at certain points, and she's left with no options than to nurse it herself. All those things, they did not understand it. What I just after is, oh, you've graduated, you are working, you are doing this, you are progressing, you should get married. And honestly, I also wished for that too. As a matter of fact, let me be sincere with you. I always have this mindset that I want to get married as early as 2022. But it was at that 2022 that a whole lot of things were actually compounding for me, and now it requires me to nurse it, to heal from it. So when Toke Makinwa actually said those two things, it actually made me shed tears. Like, this is real conversation. And then if someone has actually gone through all of that, and at the end of the day she's able to achieve a him, honestly, that person is a winner. He or she's supposed to give all the glory back to God. So to cap it all, one thing I've learned, and I'm still learning, in this journey called life. Wow, the journey called life. Should we even turn this into the podcast? When you're watching this, you don't compare your life with that of anybody, whether you're watching the person on the screen or even they are around you in your or they are even around you in your immediate environment. You don't compare your life with someone else. At every point in life, some people will be ahead of you. You will also be ahead of some people, right? I've come to realize and still learning that, at every point in my life, I just have to be grateful for how far I've actually come, and also be grateful that huge blessing God will still bring. And then it's also been realized that, I should not always be transactional with God. I should not always wait till I am actually, seeking for a particular blessing from God, right? I think I'm gonna turn this into a podcast, but I'm not actually, saying this like with my full chest yet. But I know, soon we may actually be having more real conversation like this, maybe from me, maybe from people around me. We're just having, coming here on the screen and have a real conversation. I mean, real life that happens to real people. Oh my god! I hope this particular video will not do not cause any trouble for me. But I don't think I said anything bad in this video. I don't think I said anything bad in this video. And then you might actually be thinking, what is my thoughts about marriage? You see, my opinion about marriage is, I still believe, like 100%, like marriage is a blessing. It's a blessing when someone gets it right. So when you have good spouse, when you have good partner, when you have, partner that understand, when you have generous partner. When I say generous, not just about man now, it's also applicable to my gender too. When you have kind partner, when you have understanding partner, when you have partner, that you both believes in each other and you are trustworthy, like you are sincere with each other. Honestly, marriage is a blessing. Marriage is sweet. I love it. Oh my god. So that is it, guys. That is it. Those are the things that I learned from Toke Makinwa's, story video. So let me know in the chat if you want me to come here on the screen and talk more about, real life issue like this, real story like this. Then do not forget to drop your suggestions on the area or topic or niche that you want me to check out, right? And then I'm gonna just propose, different topics, different idea, different niche together to form a whole series. Yeah, if you have not subscribed to the channel, guys, take this particular channel to 100k subscribers this year. We can do it. It is possible. I'm gonna see you in the next video.